Now, let me begin by going through part of the facts here of this cloud. The cloud here was seen building up on the ground in the form of a giant wheel of a giant steamroller, where each end of the wheel extended north as far as the eyes could see and south as far as the eyes could see until there was no way around it. It had a soft looking cloud building above it. I was trapped between this. I was to the east of this cloud. As it saw, as observed me, as if I was fleeing from it, it began to move towards me, and turned over, slumber towards me, clockwise. As I began to run towards the east, as is known right here in the diagram here, uh, a concrete block wall came up out of the earth with an opening in it, and I rushed through the opening of the concrete block wall. Once I entered the concrete block wall, I turned and went to the left and kneeled down on my knees and started looking up to the heaven in hope of seeing this dark black cloud deflect and take flight and pass over. Instead of this dark black cloud taking flight and passing over, giant white looking cloud, giant uh, uh, white cloud looking hands came out of it. What you see right here. They came out of out of this and dismantled the wall, exposing me to the wrath of the black cloud again. As I began to run to the east a second time, the process was repeated. The second concrete block wall appeared in front of me, and I went through the door like I did the first wall. And as I turned to the left, kneeled down, and began to look up once more to see if the concrete block wall deflected the storm. For the second time, the white cloud-looking hands came out of this cloud, emerged from hiding inside the dark black-looking cloud, and began to tear down this wall. What this tells us, exposing me to the wrath of the cloud again. Now, what this part was telling us, these was two forces united together in the same body as one mega force. The dark side of this force had no power of its own. Therefore, it had to rely on the white cloud-looking hands to tear down the concrete block wall, which this force had placed in front of me for my protection, exposing me to the dark black cloud. These were two forces. One was the authority, and one was the executor. One ordained me for destruction, and the other carried out the order for my execution. As on the third time, as I began to run towards the east of the third time, looking and hope, seeing another concrete block wall. Instead of seeing the concrete block wall, and I had fled towards the east, I met a giant pack of wolves as large as the giant steamroller, stacked all up, coming out of the east, a wall of wolves coming out of the east, traveling west, devouring everything in sight, and the wall of wolves extended in the same like manner as the giant wheel of this cloud in the form of a giant steamroller. As far as you can see north, and far as you could see south, far as the eyes could see, was wolves, and they was traveling towards the west, and blood was all over their mouth from their many kills. And as I looked towards the wolves, and I said within, shall I continue to flee to the east and become devoured by these wolves? They showed me what was their intent. I turned and I said, should I run back into the storm? and I turned and ran back up in the storm, and that's when I grew wings. Once I did that, I flew out of the storm, over the wolves, and I banked to the right, and the dark black looking cloud, with the white heads hiding inside of it, took flight and flew toward the Middle East. The significance of this prophecy was this was a prophecy being fulfilled, where I had fled, escaped this. I went to Danville, Illinois. I had a wreck where a white female had blew a stop sign there in Danville, Illinois, as I was driving down on East Main Street. She was driving on Brewer Road. The Brewer Road teed into East Main Street, so the traffic on East Main Street was a through street, but Brewer Road teed into this. But there was a line in here, there was a hill coming out of Danville, going eastward. I hid the road. There was no rules or regulation sign. There was no road, no sign indicating there was a hidden road. And as I was driving, it was held up a long line of traffic because I was driving under the speed limit, because my brother had warned me when I came there, don't do anything for these police stop you. He said if the speed limit said 30 miles an hour, you do 2 or 3 miles less. It's better to drive less than to drive the exact speed limit or above, because they pick on people here out of town. I had out-of-town tags on my vehicle because I was from Arkansas. This was the year of 2001, after I had made the journey there and was planning on staying there. This day in question, as I was driving, I went driving down there, and I saw this car way high up on a hill. It was a giant hill, and it's coming my way, but I was holding up traffic going down Main Street. It was driving in the opposite direction than what I was, and I seen it up there, and so it popped up in the air. I seen it when it popped up in the air, went airborne as the car went airborne, and it fell down and made a right turn. I said, Lord, I didn't know whether the vehicle had fallen off the hill or what. Didn't know it because I was new to that town. As I drove down Main Street, still looking for a vehicle, rules and regulations sign, because it was 35 miles an hour and I was driving 32 miles an hour. So I'm going to look to the right there, and past this giant hill here, this car that I thought had to turn and went in the backyard. I had an accident or something like that, charging towards Main Street where I was, and I looked that road, hidden road there, and it was a dead end. It tees into this. So I saw if I continued to drive, she was gonna broadside me and I'd have been killed. So the only thing I could do is slam my feet on the brake, because there was this accident I couldn't avoid it. But so when I jammed my brakes and slid on my vehicle, that bought me enough time for her to drive in front of me. She was driving so fast. So I broadsided her, not with an intent, but intent to let her clear in front of me, and the young white female got killed. The white community became angry at me. I tore up my front vehicle. I was driving a Dodge Ram 4x4, 1998 model, a four-wheel drive diesel. It dislodged the steering wheel, threw me up in the seat. Threw me up in the seat, and my head hit the overhead console and broke it completely out of the sockets up there. My head was bleeding, and the female got killed. She died in the accident, but the white community was angry at me. So I went to the hospital. They released me, and the next day, I felt my brain swelling up in my head. Went back the next day, and I was sick for a while. But cut this short, this area was an area that had been plagued with accidents. Nobody ever considered this place, what was causing so many accidents, even though they was had been filing these accidents with the Department of the Transportation of Illinois. Nobody considered this here. Later I would find out